Oh, I forgot.
Ah!
Talk your face off. We're gonna talk your face off. We're gonna talk your face off. Talk your face off. To talk your face off. Talk your face off. Talk your face off. Talk your face off.
There we go.
There you go.
I feel better now. I wasn't on the right screen to be able to just because everybody's commenting already, so I was looking at them.
I know.
And then I hit live, and I'm like, "Oh crap! I don't have the button to push."
It's all good.
How's it going, Pablo?
It's going well, man. It's been we've been busy, both you and I, kind of like just getting stuff. I know I'm moving forward. You're moving.
I'm
back
moving
now.
backwards. I feel. Whoa! I can only come so far with this. And then I fell off. I have a little indention for the doorway, like a tile thing down there.
Yep.
So yeah, no, not technical difficulties again. Yes.
Really?
Tony, that B25. I don't know what that B25 means.
Don't know.
Owen Rogers, what's up again, man? I've seen him a lot recently. He's
nice.
He's around again. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like him.
What's going on? Saturn 5, Tanker T68, Darwin Bunk. That's how I'm stabbing at it. So we'll go with it that way. Racing Case 87, Max Paul 11.
I saw the Walters in here.
Yes, sir.
Saturn 5.
Yep.
Man, I took a break this week. A week and a half, really.
Did it feel good or did it feel bad?
It felt great.
Good.
I did a whole podcast that I then didn't post. I listened to it. I did it twice actually, and I just was like, I listened to the first one. I'm like, nope. Then I did it again, and I'm like, nope. So I wasted a good solid hour of time.
Yeah,
and it was just kind of why I was taking a break. Like,
was it ranty or what?
No, it was just like, it was because I went back and looked at the other names of the files, and this one's going to be like taking a break because RC isn't fun anymore. And it was just like, yeah. So that was kind of the idea behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't super negative. It's just like, what do you do when you get tired of something? Like, it stops being fun, something you want to be fun. What do? You take a break, right?
Yeah.
And so some people either they just quit, but that's not an option.
Sure.
Like, it's too fun. And I know it's fun. So that's the thing. I'm like, something's wrong with me right now. I just need to step away for a minute. I didn't get on any social media, any of it. So I didn't even go comping last week, partly because my yard is a total mess. And I've been on a tractor for the past, 60 hours I've put in probably last week on it.
Yeah. But it looks like you're turning it into some lemonade now, though.
Yes. Yes. On the flip side, now we need to seed it. But yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. So I needed the time away, which was good. But it also was like I was realizing I wasn't having fun. And so.
Did you go through it's funny. It's like the stages of not stages of denial, but like what grief, where it's like the first kind of moments you're like, oh, I'm tired of this. It's nice to be away. And then you're like, I feel kind of bad I'm away. And then you're like, maybe I should come back. And then you're like, no. And then
right. Yeah, it was. I didn't pick up a controller until yesterday. So from the comp we did 2 weeks ago, the 2 Thursdays ago, I didn't touch a controller. I kind of faked it for our live, and I picked up and worked on that black market, which I never finished. Like I haven't. I finally yesterday when I was willing to pick up a controller, I finally taped down the ESC.
Nice.
And now all I really need to find is a Velcro battery strap.
Yeah.
But sorry, I dropped my fidget spinner, which is a wheel weight.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I mean, but when I picked up a controller yesterday, like I was ready. And that was the thing. I was doing the podcast and I'm like, and I so cannot wait to go. I've got a battery on the charger right now and I cannot wait to get out. And
isn't that such an awesome like feeling? Like, so, okay, I don't know if you go through this. So I'm searching this feeling. When I first started, not when I first started, when I got heavy back into this, like 2019-ish, 2018-ish, I built my track in the backyard. I had never had a crawler. And I had just got a crawler. I had a little racetrack, and then I put a crawling course in there. And my first crawler was a Gen 8. And it was stock, and I had all kinds of fun with it, not knowing the capabilities, right? Now I have like, now I know there's like all different types of crawlers you can get, right? With different capabilities and stuff. And now I'm chasing that high of when I used to go places like an indoor crawling place.
yep.
Be like, oh, this is so much fun going around the track or going around their course, you know? And now I'm like, I'm chasing that high again. And I'm trying to find it.
Yeah.
And I don't know where I'm getting it. And so I think maybe what I'm missing because of the weather's been so crappy is I'm missing going hiking with the car.
Yeah.
Because that's like
Real trails. Yeah. Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking Friday. I was going to go tomorrow and I was like, I think Friday is going to probably pan out a little bit better. So,
Yeah. Yeah. It was, you know, for me, it all started, I guess, with the Big T thing, you know, and things got kind of dirty and weird after that. And then, like, I loved going into live streams and just hanging out in the chat, but like, I didn't feel like I could because then if I just even posted a comment, it was like bringing baggage to whatever stream that I was commenting in, you know?
Right.
And so I stopped commenting in streams and, you know, I'd lurk and, you know, have them on. And then it got to the point where I wouldn't even watch them. And, I mean, so I cut off all videos. I didn't watch any RC videos. I didn't watch the Scale News Update, which I watch religiously, man.
Yeah.
I watched it today because I'm back in on I double duty today.
Yeah.
But it was weird. Like, and so the reason I didn't post the podcast was like 2 before I was like moving on and feeling great. Like, and it's like, well, then I'm like, but I'm not. So now I'm going to be like, RC isn't fun anymore. Like, moving on and making RC fun again. And then I realized that it wasn't that easy. Like, I was trying to do that and it just wasn't. And because I couldn't be in these other communities because it just get brought up again.
Yeah.
So I finally was like, I'm stepping away because like I'm not having fun with it. Also, my yard is tore up, like just a mess, and I've got other priorities and So, and I also talked about other hobbies and like I've been working on my guitar. I bought a Mustang guitar we talked about last time, and I've been stripping that down and working on that in my spare time. So I haven't literally touched RCs for the past 11 days or whatever, other than that one that I built in the live. But I'm itching to get back out though. Like we've talked about the monster truck stuff. I want to get back into that, and I need to because I've got RC Fest coming up and there's going to be monster trucks there. We're also running like a comp at Horizon RC Fest for We're bringing the trailer down, and you know my buddy's doing all that. So, and then we're gonna be just hosting a comp. So like, I knew like going into it that there's no like, well, it's just done,
right?
But it had to be I just need to like a clean cut from it for a bit to kind of, other than I've been working nonstop on that USTE video. Like I do that for a couple hours and then I go tractor for 8 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy with where it's at. We're breaking like a 30-minute video. It's going to be,
wow.
It's like, yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't know that's what they intended.
Yeah.
When we started talking
full
about it.
Documentary, mini doc.
Dude, there's so many interviews and there's so many that have the same answers that you're trying to like, I go in and I play one instead, and then I put the other one in. And I mean, there's hours of just interviews, and then there's multiple hours of video,
Sure.
B-roll. Plus, I got last year's footage, all of their footage from the video that they made,
Oh wow.
which was shot by a professional guy. And so we're trying to make this whole thing. It's just like, it's a lot, like
Yeah.
trying to manage it and like, where's that clip I saw that I want to go now? I want to put it here. And yeah, it's big, and there's thousands of clips, and it's bigger than anything I've tackled. I'll just say that, like,
Wow. That's crazy.
scope wise, we usually don't get this many interviews and this many just clips of B-roll. So it just
Right.
makes it that much more gnarly because I was filming, my kids were filming. So even when I was there, it's like 2 to 3 cameras of footage
That's
that I have to go
nuts.
through per day.
Speaking of
But yeah.
footage like that, I've got to figure out a good way. So you know how you like when we did the Losi shoot, like you would go around and you would scout your location on where your cameras would look good. Now that I've like tore up my whole backyard and redid it, I have to now be like, where are my good angles going to be? They're all different now. And so I'm just like, I got to figure this out. And I've got some good angles for the monster truck racing stuff. It's just, I think I'm going to have to make, when I do the races back there between me and the kid, we're going to have like 3 cameras set up so that I can go through it all. And then the crawling thing, that's still a work in progress, but that crawling space is getting a lot better now. So I'm pretty pumped about that. I just sent you a picture.
I saw you sent me pictures and asking about it, and we haven't talked really because it's been so nuts. Like you text me and I'm just like, it's always a picture of like me on the tractor or whatever, like the view from the tractor. Oh, dang.
I just sent you the picture of your extreme build coming along. It's getting there.
That's awesome.
It's getting there. I did a little video of how to.
We'll put this up. I'll send a few things over in a minute, and then we'll just put this up there. But
yes, upper left RC says, "How was the thunder and lightning?"
Dude,
it was pretty gnarly down there the last couple of days. Yeah, so we're at the base of Stevens Pass, so we are kind of at the end of the convergence zone in Washington here. So everything comes down through like the Juan de Fuca and like comes over and goes right into where we're at. And we get a lot of snow when it snows, and we get a lot of rain when it rains. Like everything kind of piles up here. And there was a minute, so I had a meeting last night, and I didn't get home until like 8:45 or 8:30. So the skies were all red on one side, the skies were blue on the other side, and then it was dark on one other at like 3 kind of corners. And I go out on my deck because I love storms. So I go out on my deck and I'm watching. And the thing that scared me is that all of a sudden the clouds started rotating in a way that wasn't like, I mean, I wasn't really scared of like a tornado or anything, but the wind was picking up and things were just like, you could see
lifting a bit.
Yeah, and you could see it start rotating. I was like, oh, this is going to be good because you could feel it. Like, I don't know.
I don't like thunderstorms. So
really?
No.
Oh, man.
Dude, I had an experience.
Yeah.
Where we thought we got hit by lightning. Like it was so close.
Oh.
And like all of our hairs and stuff when we came inside were standing up.
Oh yeah.
And like
I
white
love
as
it.
ghosts. Like and the kid's mom was in high school, and we were in their pole barn looking at like his dad's gun collection, which we weren't supposed to be doing in the first place. Late at night, like after everyone had gone to bed, big boom. We run back in the house. We're shaking. Our hair's, sticking out. And his mom is like, "What are you guys doing?" And we're just like, like pale. And she's, yeah. And ever since then, I'm like, too close. Don't want to be out. Because we used to sit out on the porch and just, we had an awesome house. Like we had a not awesome house, but we had an awesome porch of this 1865 house, like
nice,
with like little spiral, like peaked one, whatever, old original cemented porch. And we just sit out there. We were in the middle of the downtown, like old town, Main Street kind of thing.
Sure.
like right off it. Like we were the first house after Main Street,
Nice.
and we'd just be looking, and it was like we'd love it, but I can't do it anymore. I have to come inside.
I
I'm a
love it.
sissy.
If I could, I would probably storm chase. Like
Yeah.
I love that stuff. Like when we were in college, my wife and I went out. We kind of are on at our college is kind of like a plains area, and we had a couple big storms where we'd drive out to like where the fields are, and we'd see the lightning come like right there, and on the CB on my truck, it'd get all high pitched staticky every time it hit. And oh yeah,
Yeah.
I love
Well,
that.
and there was a time, and I didn't mind if I'm in a car or something because I know it's
Mhm.
grounded a bit,
Yeah,
Because I don't ever wear good shoes,
yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Which that brings up another story to talk about. I'll see if I can find a picture of it. Yeah. So that is my
Oh, yeah.
heel, the bone spur that I have on the back of it that's going right into the Achilles tendon.
It looks
And
like
so,
a
like,
beak. Like you
man,
got a parrot beak back there.
wearing like shoes other than like my Columbia fishing shoes, which are very soft back,
Mhm.
anything like legit hurts like you
Yeah.
wouldn't believe. So I haven't for the past 8 years really worn good. I can wear Vans, and half the time I just step on the heel of the left Van because whatever.
Right.
But not many shoes I can wear because of that thing right now. And I have to, if I get it taken care of, it requires detaching the Achilles, cutting it off, reattaching, and then about 6 months of rehab and
Ugh.
healing, and basically a full year of kind of just basically like if you tore your Achilles or whatever.
Yeah.
So it sucks. I want to get to some of the comments really quick
Yep.
and then talk about some of your race stuff and your SMT10.
Oh yeah.
I saw that Owen Rogers said he was at Walters RC Park last Saturday. And
Nice.
he didn't text me and tell me he was going. So not talking to him for a little while.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I know Jeff Walters been working like crazy. He even mentioned he redid the King of Rocks
Oh,
thing.
nice. Yeah.
Kaylin says RC comes in waves. Sometimes you need a break to find the love again. I just need a little. Like, I know I love it. So that's the thing. Like, I
Yeah.
know what it can do for me as far as being kind of like in the middle of this. Like, this is when I think I would need it. Like, I need a break.
Yeah.
Let me grab an RC car. But it was just kind of like, no, I don't.
You know what's funny too is that there's another side to that where it feels like it's pulling you too much, and you're like, am I addicted?
Not
to
getting
this?
stuff done. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And you're like, maybe I should just stop. Maybe I should stop cold turkey for a little bit.
That's the flying cars thing where you're not
Yeah.
working like you should be.
Oh, 100%. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff Walters says make a crawler course while you're at it, Tony. What Pablo and I talked about is I should have got my King Sling out and ran it through the mud because it was gnarly back there.
That
It was
looked pretty soupy, dude.
gnarly. Couldn't go in there without getting your feet like over your ankles stuck.
That's crazy.
So upper left had said, I want to make sure I say, he said, can't decide if I enjoy the inner competition part of crawling in RC or if it's my obsession with watching the suspension and weight transfer as it crawls. I love it though.
Do you find yourself okay? So I just went out and shot a little bit of testing on the new sections that I did with the
Mhm.
24 scale. Do you find yourself taking? So I like going really slow, and I'm like, seriously, that just so I'll do a little section. And I'll be like, that just took 8 minutes to go 18 inches, and I'm like, is that going to be a video or is that just like a total waste of like not a waste of my time because I enjoyed it, but like that's a lot of footage for
how far you went. That's why the last video I have was I have it like 80% done from the crawler comp 2 weeks ago we went to, and we brought the big camera in and all that. But we just go so slow. It's like paint dry, man. Like, who wants to watch this?
I know.
Like, because I went back. I'm like, man, I want to do one of those videos like I did before.
Yeah.
And then that everybody loved. And I realized, oh, we were like being timed. The fastest time won.
Right.
And so we were moving. Like, we weren't like slow creeping, and like when I'm slow creeping, you got to cut out so much, and then people don't get the feel of the whole course and how everybody did.
And you never get to the camera never shows how steep or how like it just looks like a car barely moving versus like you're really on a ledge. It's like this. or
Well, I'm
whatever.
pretty good. I can make it look like that.
Oh yeah.
I'm messing. No. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't quite get how technical things are
Yeah.
and why you're going so slow for it, right?
I think that's why I decided. So I realized something today that like this last weekend, Mother's Day, I think it was one of the days, maybe it was Saturday. We were cleaning out the garage and went to go donate stuff, and it was just me and my son in the car while my wife and daughter went into the store. We started scrolling through like the calendars of the different clubs that we're a part of, and I was like, "What do you want to do the next couple weeks?" You know, I was like, "We got a monster truck thing coming up, we got a crawling thing coming up, we got races coming up, all this kind of stuff," and I realized that we're
Still lingering cough.
yeah, but I realized that we're kind of starting to bond over that time.
Yeah.
Like, and that, you know, that it's like something that we both enjoy doing together.
Yep.
And he's starting to be able to talk about it more. So I'm like starting to realize, okay, now I'm really going to push to do this kind of stuff more. And then also like I'm pointing over here because my track's right there, but I think that's part of the reason why I wanted to redesign this area so that we could actually do those mono a mono videos where we're racing or we're crawling or doing whatever kind of challenges.
Yeah.
That makes it more interesting if it's a super slow crawl. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if there's talking going on or whatever.
There has to be narration, whatever. And I just wasn't feeling it. Like
it's
I
hard
brought
to
my mic set up. That's the other thing is when I have the big camera, like I have to have, because it's got that boom mic on. If I don't have on, like it's really, I have to be yelling in order to be sounding normal because the mic is forward focused on everything.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't put it on and got busy, but so everything kind of sounds behind it. I just want to see, somebody said Team Corelli.
I know, I was going to say, skeet, because Mir Deef just got a skeeter.
Would you believe that what I have charged on the charger right now and are supposed to run today, and I got some new receivers for because I went to run it on 6S last time and it just kept like bogging out. And I think it's because I ran it in the water and I'd used that Spectrum receiver that had melted in the monster truck fiasco of me putting the wrong spray on it.
Yeah.
The cleaner that melted all the acrylic.
It did that to that one too?
Well, that was no. That was the receiver from that. Like that was the first thing that broke was the receiver just cracked all apart. And I was like, what? And then everything else melted. So that's the receiver. It was still working. So I put it in there, but it had no protection. And I think it died. So I put a new receiver in there yesterday and got the radio out for it. Just have to bind it up. And I've got 6S ready for it.
Nice.
Still haven't run the Kronos on 6S yet.
Nice.
And I've got that huge Castle system in it. That they're stupid power plugs. Like if I could say anything to Castle, it would be about their little plug and the tiny wires and for something so crucial.
Yeah.
There's not enough room to actually tape it down well that when you actually flip the switch, it doesn't like go flying everywhere.
I
just solder them.
I just put them together.
Yeah, I need to just do that. That's how all my monster trucks are because it also goes bad. Like,
yeah, especially like getting all wet and
all of my Spectrum stuff has never let me down. Like, except for that silly on-off switch. Like, to their detriment. Like, in the middle of a race, just kept shorting out, and then I just had to cut it and splice it. But it's just like, but I've never lost a ESC, a motor, anything. So
that's awesome.
But yes, more Team Corelli coming. I have it, the XTR, and it was the first of this year's things of if it's not ready to run, I'm not gonna do it because poor them. as easy as it is to put together a roller with a motor, a servo, and basically electronics.
Yeah.
There's just not time to do it like
Yeah.
in the middle of everything else.
Well, and it's one of those
So-
things that I think people don't realize. It's like, oh, I gotta buy I gotta buy the ESC and the motor, and now I gotta solder the ESC. I gotta solder my battery connectors on it, and I gotta solder the motor to the ESC, and I gotta blah blah blah. And oh, by the way, I gotta find the right pinion gear, and now I gotta get the servo that fit. Like it's just it slow rolls a ton, and then you feel guilty because then you're like dropping a ton of dough on something that you're like, this is all. I already got the car, and now I've just spent another $400 on parts to get the car running.
Yeah,
because you get the good stuff to put it in.
Yeah,
so,
I love the Tony Clifton stuff here.
I know I was just gonna say he's
good
keying
stuff.
in on he did some of
The elves and the Hobbit.
Yeah,
and
the
then
Middle Earth. I posted that in the in the description, so he's keying in on that.
So we'll do that. And I did get the Skeeter from them before, and that's
Mhm.
a fun rig. So I'll run that again.
Yeah,
But that kind of stuff. And I've got something else I've got to build. So for the year of me not taking on projects that aren't builds, I have a big build I have to do
really.
very quickly that I haven't actually told you about yet.
Oh wow!
We'll talk.
I'm excited for you. You're like, maybe don't be excited for me.
In the middle of this, it's the wrong time, but
You're like, it's the Cross
cool.
27 wheeler. We got
well, I still have this
Hydraulics.
Bronco behind me in the box that I would need to do a video on. I've still got like so many things. I still need to do the video now on that Smasher, which that'll be quick. Those are easy. I love the small stuff because it is easy.
Yeah.
I need to restart my build series on all my products that I was doing.
Yeah.
Because
I feel so guilty when that happens, when I'm like, I'm going to do this build series. It's like the taco chop stuff. So I was doing build series, I was doing videos, and then all of a sudden, like I just sent you the picture of where it's at now. And it's like, I just kind of got a wild hair and just started working on it. And I made a small little video about it, but not a lot. And so I'm like, I need to capture that stuff a little bit more.
Right. Mirror Deep says, I want a Kronos, but have a 6S Kraton, so I'm waiting, I guess. They're very similar. And that's the whole thing of like RC, where it's like, it's not necessary if you have a Kraton, in my opinion. And it's not necessary to get a Kraton if you have a Kronos. Like, they're so similar in many ways.
I want
different
the Jumbo.
company, whatever. The Jumbos, maybe.
That's the one I want. The black, and it's like black and this color, like black and green.
No, I think I have the Skeeter.
They have a black and green one, and they have a black and orange
Jumbo is cool.
Yeah.
Upper left, I have a FMS K5 on hold at. Well, I asked him to hold it. I never got a response actually at reaction. He got them in, and I said, "Hey, hold one for me. Like I'll buy it," but I haven't heard that he did or not. Yeah. So hopefully, if he didn't, hopefully they haven't sold out. Sorry, Jeff. They should sell them, but yeah.
I haven't.
It's good that it hasn't, because I don't have the money right now. Like, that's part of it. Like, this project has been super expensive.
Oh, I bet, dude. That stuff adds up.
Rocks and dirt, and they'll only bring in a 12-yard truck into our driveway because of how steep and how narrow it is to get into.
Oh, wow.
So he brought in a bigger one once, and he crushed the edge of the driveway, which was almost putting him down into like he'd have rolled it. But
oh man,
super close. So he said from now on he'll only do 12 yards. But
that's a lot of dirt to move.
12 yards.
Rocks, yeah.
That's
a big pile. It's like a 6-foot pile the size of a small car.
Well, I've done 5, so I've done 60 yards of dirt.
Wow, that's a lot of earth to move.
And 8 yards, so 17 tons of rock, basically. So 13 yards, 14 yards of rock.
Yeah.
And
good thing you have a tractor.
Yards. Yeah, my tractor's been like, it's gonna have to Probably tomorrow I'll check the air filter because it's getting dusty and everything now. But yeah, money's tight. And because I took this hiatus, people don't realize it. But if you're not talking about your stuff or you're not doing videos, the stores, went from like peak of during everybody wanting to support after everything happened with the site shutdown to like bottomed out when I went silent, so which makes sense because if you're not talking, people aren't thinking, and there's so many great aftermarket stuff anyway. Like, so on top of that, so if you're not talking about yours, which I'm not a super salesman anyway, but yeah, so it's money's been, and YouTube money is less than half.
Dude, I saw videos that were
was.
talking about down 90% right now.
Yeah, I would say mine's over half. Mine's probably down 60 to 70% what it was.
That's crazy.
So yeah,
it's interesting hearing.
Money was tough coming in this month.
It's interesting hearing why people think that's happening, because there's no like real thing to point at. That for everyone that's like, I'm not monetized on YouTube yet, but like for the ones that I've been listening to, not RC related, but just other YouTube creator stuff, and it's like surprising.
I don't know if they think there's bots, if the clicks aren't happening, if people aren't seeing their money come back for their ad spends.
Mm-hmm.
If YouTube thinks that because Instagram and them pulled a lot of their monetization, if they can lower theirs,
Yeah.
Plus, they've made it the waters murky with your views because they've got the shorts in there now, and that just really murkies the whole water of.
Well, the shorts are dying off now too. It's just like Instagram did, where the Instagram, when you first were posting, you'd have 1 million views, 900,000 views, or whatever, and then all of a sudden it's just like back down to reality.
What's funny is the only thing I watch on YouTube is videos that are 10 minutes or more. I swear, like when I watch them, I pull them up on my TV, and they're usually 8 to 20 minutes to an hour long. The stuff I watch on here, so yeah.
Needle Juice asked if your axles fit.
Yes. Yep, I got a new batch in, which are way better.
Sweet. Very nice. What's up?
I'm gonna build a Cardinal 1/5. Saw K-pop. Man, K-pop's latest video was really sick.
I didn't get a chance to see it. I saw the thumbnail, but I haven't got a chance to watch it.
His videos are like what the fishing videos are, but in the RC world, like the level, because fishing videos are nuts what they do with them. So yeah,
crazy. Today I wanted to go to the track and do this from the track.
No reception?
No, I just didn't get a chance to get. I looked down at the clock and I'm like 2:30. That's why I didn't get the artwork done until like 3:34, because I was like, I had no idea what time it was. I was like, what? Already? So I'll probably swing down there. There's a dirt race this weekend there, and I'll probably swing down there and check that out. I don't know if we're gonna race. I got the parts to fix my Pro 4. Maybe we'll race. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes. But I don't know. I got to finish the backyard. My goal. Okay, so here's something that I want to talk about.
It's cool what you're doing with it, though.
Well,
yeah, let's get to your topics.
So,
give the most.
Here's one thing that I want to talk about real quick that I'm thinking about doing. So years ago, we had like a big Father's Day barbecue here. We had, opened it up to the neighbors, and friends and family came, and it was cool. We had a bunch of people here, all hanging out on the deck. That's when I first did my crawler course and my racetrack. And I would just hand the cars to people, because back then they were all stock, basically, maybe different tires. And I'd hand the cars to people and be like, yeah, take turns, have fun. And they would just go crawling. And so now I'm thinking this Father's Day, I want to do something like that again. But I don't really have too many stockers that I'd feel comfortable, or, too many trucks that I'd feel comfortable just handing to someone. Like most of them are 3D printed bodies and blah, blah, blah. It's like, so my daughter has a Gen 8 that we haven't ran forever. And it's like, it needs a servo. and I can just put the body on it and the tires. And then my wife has a, what is that? Charisma, like a whatever I don't remember what it was, but so I'm thinking about putting those two back together and maybe having one RTR out there and then just being like, put batteries in them, 2S batteries, and being like, have fun. You know what I mean? Just go out and let my neighbors go out and crawl, have a barbecue, all that kind of stuff. But now I have to figure out, I got to finish those cars on top of what I'm doing.
And they'll be like, "This is what you do in your backyard all the time? We've been
Yep.
wondering.
I know.
Thought you were a creeper. Like, what's
Oh,
all this lighting?" And
They all know.
yeah,
They all
it's hard to
know.
hide it, right?
Yeah. And all of our neighbors have kids. And so they're always like peeking in the backyard. I'm like, get out of here. No, just kidding. Spraying with the hose. That was the biggest thing that always peeved me, dude. I'd be like, don't walk on the jumps. And what are the kids doing? Walking on the jumps. And I'm just like, and my wife would be like, well, what do you expect? You're building like a playland back here. And I'm like, I expect them not to walk on the jumps.
Yeah.
You know?
Just put a "please walk on a jump" sign, and then they won't.
Yeah.
It's like, do not walk on grass. Okay. Feeling a little rebellious today.
No.
I'm gonna walk on that grass just because I
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
Make a 60-minute video that has 60 head breaks in it. Let this play overnight. That's hilarious, dude.
There you go.
Decker says that's a big 24 course. Yeah. What was it?
12
13,
yards.
14 tons that I had. No, it's more. It's 17 tons or so. It's hard to do the yard. One delivery was in tons, 5 tons, and the other was in yards, 8 tons, or 8 yards, which is 2,600 pounds approximately. So it'd be like
a ton and a quarter.
yeah. So 12 tons, so 17 tons. Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's crazy. So, but they were small rock. It was for the 225-foot French drain that we put in.
That's crazy.
Which is not making a cool crawler course like you were doing.
But I was mixing 10 bags of concrete by hand, which was not an easy feat.
So
Ooh.
that you can see some of the stone up in the along the part of the deck we saved.
Mm-hmm.
You can also see the rot in the very bottom of that first board. That's the one that has to be cut up about a foot, 18 inches, and put. I might just replace it at this point, like jack it up and replace that whole thing. The problem is the way they tied it into the railing and everything else.
Yeah,
makes it sucky the way that they designed it. But you can see we put in drains here, and there's one over by the deck. So yeah,
the dirt looks so nice though.
Yes, and we've extended this quite a bit. The part that is dirt here is I've raised. There's probably 40 yards of dirt just there.
Does your wife
building
get it? Like, is she like, why are you getting all this dirt? Like, does she get it? Or
well, we're gonna put planters up there for her parents that want planters, and I didn't want them down in the lower end where it's mucky,
right?
And so this, because it's so thick it's thick, of just topsoil, that it'll drain out and it'll be hard even when everything else is soupy. That's clay. So yeah. Anyway, it's and there's nothing like buying plywood at the current prices in order to just destroy it by driving on it. Like, yeah,
it finally,
boards,
the OSB finally came down in our neck of the woods. But
it's not even OSB. This is straight plywood.
Oh, real plywood.
Yeah,
that's expensive.
1/2-inch plywood to drive on. Yeah.
Sheet. There you go.
So, but yeah, we got it in there, and my son didn't understand the idea of what we were doing with the rocks there, and he put the dirt on it. So I'm super, super jazzed about that, because we'd gone and put all the paper and stuff under it, the plastic, so weeds wouldn't grow, and then he put dirt right on it. So no matter what, now
you got mud going in.
I'm gonna have to just rinse that all off, and that's all gonna settle underneath, and it's gonna be weeds growing out of those rocks.
Yeah.
Yay. Anyway, so I'm lucky to have a tractor. It's been 8 days of just nonstop grind.
Yeah.
And it's finally at the point where I hand it over to my in-laws and say, seed this, build your garden box.
I'm out.
I'm out. But I also wanted it to be at an angle where we can mow it easier because it was so hard to mow. So that's why it was, even when I had the mound, I then had to angle it off. And there's so much waste in that, like
Yeah.
of the dirt, but it'll make it easier to mow it going forward and have proper drainage, and we'll be happy for it, but it's very frustrating. But
DRZRC says, Tony, you going to make Badlands this year? Speaking of Badlands.
Yes,
Here's your Badlands build.
I have to run this at Badlands and make videos on how great of a builder this guy over here is.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
It's coming along. So those tabs are.
Wait, what goes in that little top hoop thing? Don't tell me a light bar goes in there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Do you install the lights for me if I buy the light bar?
I'll figure it out. Yeah.
And make it work?
I was going to contact My Trick because he's got some good ones that are going to look great in this.
All right.
In this build.
Well,
so.
I'll buy them, but I don't want to have to install them because that's no bueno.
So the tabs on the down where the bumper is, where the roll pan is.
Yeah.
Those are just floating. They're tapped so that it screws into the bumper mount on the front end. And then I'll tack them down. So you'll have 4 screws and you can either take 2 screws off and flip the body up, or take all 4 and take the whole body off. But
nice.
The hood opens up.
I see the hood is detached.
Yeah.
Is that for the battery?
Yep.
Oh.
So
and there's a big hole in the hood. It looks like a shield. Is that going to be a...
That's where those velocity stacks go through, the ones that I 3D printed. Yep. So it's coming together. I got to figure out what to do for the grill. The grill that prints out for this isn't my favorite.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm going to do there, but I got to figure something out.
Just take I'm picturing, the grating that they have for old fluorescent light things, where they're and then just
metal.
paint it black.
Yeah.
Like just a thin where they're,
you
just stick it in there so it looks mean.
Yep. We'll see. I'll probably put some kind of radiator, faux radiator, printed a Soto looking like grill. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't look like the Chevy grill that is with that model very much. It's distorted. It looks weird. So I'm like, I might drive my own. We'll see. We'll see how much time I have on it. But
it looks super cool though.
I gotta put the stinger on the front still. And then the whole back half.
Whoops.
And then it'll be good to go.
Stinking magic mouse and just touch the top of the scroll. That's looking super mean, man.
I'm excited. I think it's going to look dope.
So once the cage is done, which is looking
it's getting close.
Pretty close.
Probably a day and a half more.
Till it's done, the cage.
Mm-hmm.
And then what is after that? The lights?
Lights and interior. I got to figure out what to do for the interior. I don't want to leave you hanging with no interior in it. So I'll probably 3D print an interior for it. Just like a basic interior.
Yeah.
So you get the scale points. And then paint. I was going to paint it.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That looks wicked. Now, this thing that it's on, is that one of, is it a table? What are you building on?
That's my work table.
Your workbench?
Yeah.
I see you've etched or Sharpied your name in there. You can't help yourself. Mr. High School, sign the desk.
Oh, does it say? Yeah, well, no, I did it for the backdrop for Taco Chop Live. And so I took a picture of it. So it says RC Amigos up in the top corner when it's the backdrop, but it just hasn't, I haven't wiped it down yet. I draw on the tables all the time because they're steel. So I use a Sharpie and draw on it and then take lacquer thinner and wipe it clean and it's good to go.
Nice.
So
Well, that's awesome, dude.
So the SCX6 is going to be a tank. It is going
Have
to
you
be.
started on it?
I got the material coming. They sent the wrong material today, and they got the new material coming tomorrow. And I started catting up the back half, and I was like, so
You need to find a way to bring it to market because I think people are going to want to buy it
well, okay. So the
or
idea,
the parts.
yeah. So that's Scale Metal. So Andre's in here. So the idea is, I'm designing like, if you go to his website, you can. There's one called the Beaver Tail on there, and that's one that I designed that you can build and it'll fit on like an Element chassis.
Okay.
So this back half that I'm designing is going to be blueprinted so that you can download the blueprints and build it yourself. Now it's going to be, a very you're going to have a certain set of skills and tool sets and all that kind of stuff to do it. But yeah, I thought about doing it where it might be the kind of thing where like the guy that was just on Rogan, the Hennessy guy, if someone wants to just buy a kitted out SCX6, me or Andre would build it out based off the blueprints that I create and charge whatever to get it done. But because it's pretty technical. Like I was talking to Andre, I'm a little scared of the swing set on it. So I'm fine.
For durability or?
No, just that I'm running out of time and I got to nail it on the first shot. So, I mean, that's kind of what I do not to be like that, but I mean, that's just what I do every day.
Just that good.
Well, it's just all the stuff. All the stuff I have to build is like under duress when it comes to work. So it's like, I gotta just do it right the first time or fix it on the fly and then it's ready to go. So I got to figure that part out, but
I need to get mine ready to bring.
Yeah. Too bad
Mine's not going to be nearly as cool. Mine will be more stockish.
Stockish.
With a better servo.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I've got.
Speaking, we got to talk to Reese. I got to reach out to Spec too, because he was going to put tires on it. I was going to ask Reef if he wanted to do a servo on this one, because those are the big servos.
For Operation 11, yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's the only other person for sponsoring this kind of thing. So, but yeah, Spec said they were going to put wheels on it. So hopefully he has enough time to machine them. Those are going to be hot off the press too. He likes my red piece of
your mic here.
Yes. Just saying, it's pretty awesome. The next version of this changes color too.
Really?
Yeah, but
this one is cheap by mic standards.
Isn't that a Shure though? Sure.
No, this is the Rode mic.
Oh,
pod mic. It's like
that's still a good mic though.
It's like $99. Yeah.
Yeah, same as this.
So
I got this for Christmas a couple years ago. I felt all.
My other one that I have in the studio I don't ever go to anymore.
That's a booming mic, dude.
That's the legit mic.
Yeah,
SMB.
That one's like you can hear
the Shure mic. That one. That's the Joe Rogan mic.
Yeah.
You have to have a cloud lift and other things. Like it's an expense. But when I had so many other noises at the other house I had to deal with, like washing machines and everything.
Yeah.
Isolation is so good.
Yep.
Pablo got his NPR late nights off.
I don't even have to be quiet anymore. It's like still light out. I got my fan on down here. I don't have to be quiet anymore. Stop yelling at us. I know I just turned my mic up after you said that. Now it's probably way too hot. Hello.
That means you got to whisper more.
Hello.
Yeah, I need to talk to Andre because if he was working on that buggy for me, which I'm super stoked about, but they were going to run them right?
Yeah.
Out west.
Yep.
And if I'm not going to be able to make that because of the other event where I'm running stuff, I'm gonna have to have somebody run for me.
Was that Proline? I'm torn on that one. I'd really like to make it down there because so Axial Fest looks awesome, but I don't have any Axial. We've covered this, like, and not by
Yeah.
choice. I just
Right.
don't have one. And so I feel like maybe that'll be over the winter
Now
time.
you're hot. You're
Am I
super
hot?
You're hot.
There we go. How about now?
And
How about
multiple ways.
You know?
But now your voice isn't hot.
Yeah.
Why did Gandalf use an RC wizard staff? It helped him perform remote controlled magic tricks. I have a cat named Gandalf. I had to read it.
What was
He
I
was
totally
gray and he
forgot.
had long ear hair. Proline by the Fire.
Oh yeah. So
You wanna go?
Maybe over this winter I'll
Maybe
get,
you could race it.
if I went, I would race it for you. But what I'm getting at is maybe over this winter time, what I would do is get some kind of Axial based vehicle and put my own stank on it so I can attend these Axial Fest things. That's what I like about Proline by the Fire is that you could do whatever you want. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Like you can bring whatever. So
Yeah. I have a ton of Axial, so it's not hard for me.
I know you got a
So.
ton. Well, and I've got the SMT 10s. So it's good segue into SMT 10s.
Oh, good one.
Dude, so we got ours up and running. Last time we were on, I was
Looks fun.
Bro, it is a blast out there. Like with those munition tires. So we were testing. We did 2S and then we did 3S. And I forgot how hard they are to steer compared to an LMT. The LMT seem
Oh
like
yeah.
you know what I
way
mean?
more
Like,
way more steering.
it's like
way
they have
more.
understeer like for days on the SMT 10s. And so we were racing them around and we were like missing our corners and stuff. And then finally we kind of got in a groove on racing and I was awesome. But so I think that's the magic setup because we were being hard on them and they didn't break. So I did the Holmes Hobbies 8-turn, the Crawlmaster Pro, or no, Sport, sorry. Crawlmaster Sport, this one.
8 turns?
8 turns. So it's a 5-slot 8-turn, but it'll take 3S all day long.
Wait, 5 turns. That's like a
No, 5-slot. Sorry.
or 5 slot. That's like a
14.
yeah.
Yeah. But what's nice about it is it'll take 3S.
Right.
So we ran it on 2S and it's got enough torque, but not enough top end. And we switched to 3S and we were just bombing around. So I'm running this motor, $20 motor, and then the Hobby Wing 1080
Yep.
ESC, because then you could dial in all your brake, you could forward, reverse, instant. It's got all that stuff to it. That's only like $40. So $60, you've got a perfect power system for that. And they're matched, and we were just running around racing, and it was a blast with the little munition tires. I don't know that setup would be great with 2.6s, but 2.2s would be fine with it for sure.
Yeah.
I love
I
that.
miss my monster trucks. I need to level up my yard some more. I need more dirt.
I
The
know.
area is just so downhill where I run that it just doesn't feel monster trucky. So
Okay, here's a perfect design. You ready? You ready for this? You take that dog run that you have that you do your jumps on. At the
In the
end
middle.
of it, you make a small wall, cinder block retaining wall there, and bring it up to what you have level for that. And then you put rocks on the backside as your rock crawling area. And then you have that nice level surface that has the berm built into it because of that retaining wall. That's what you got to do. Because, it's hard to see on the camera, but I would assume it's probably, 1.5 feet run?
oh
Is it more than that? Really?
yeah, it's probably 5 feet to the bottom of where I do my run.
Really?
To the top. Oh yeah. If
Oh,
not
wow.
more. It's a big drop.
Oh, wow.
It's it's down like this.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
That doesn't show up on camera, big guy. You're like, ooh, I can show up the angles on this.
Well, it's because where I'm standing at the top. I'm not standing from the side ever shooting.
It's lonely at the top, isn't it, Tony? Kellen says 2.2s, meh.
I'm gonna also make a mini track. I want to make a mini monster truck track.
There you go.
So yeah, that's
Yeah.
coming.
Well, that's part of what. Yeah. So now.
So I just removed a freaking retaining wall, dude. That was leveling a whole area. That's what I removed, and that's what that whole bump out
Yeah.
is I removed. Where is it?
Dustin Spallone says Pablo landscape designer.
So
Insane.
the yard or the hill used to end, but you can see the post of that upper deck.
Uh-huh.
In to the right of that about 2 feet there was a retaining wall, and so all of that I've added out about
Made it more
15
gradual.
feet. Yeah.
I see.
Well, it's pretty straight, but then it goes down more gradual so we can mow, because mowing around the retaining wall and all that was garbage. Plus everything down below the retaining wall was just like soupy.
Yeah, I'd sink
so-
into it.
Yep. So I didn't like anything on the other side of it. So this was a way of getting around that. But it's been a nightmare. And there's a third deck you can see up on the top. Luckily, that one's not tied into the whole system. So there was a lower deck, middle deck, and upper deck. And whenever I have to replace all that wood, I will sell the house before I redo those decks.
Black Market says, get your MT track ready. Over axle carbon chassis is done.
Ooh.
Just saying, I've got a track out here. Just saying.
The Gory Bogs, now I want to go fishing. We went fishing last night. I caught nothing. Again, I'm 0 for 0 for 0 on the year. My son is catching everything. So
That's rad. I need to get some video out here of this track. I haven't posted. I posted one video of the testing, but I need to get some actual real video of racing out here. It was fun, dude. Me and my son running around racing that thing. The SM, like it'd be cool because we could do the SMT 10s, and then we could do the LMTs and kind of make a little 4-car bracket. I should get another MT12. There's videos out there now of people doing brushes. He was in here, No Control RC.
Yep.
Just posted a video of him with a brushless one.
in the MT12.
Yeah, seemed pretty fast.
Dude, he showed me some of the behind the scenes photos of it.
Yeah.
He said he's still working on it. It's legit. That's a huge motor in it.
Oh, it's got like a 550, 540 in it.
It's long. I don't know what it is, but yeah.
That's crazy.
Gory Bog says wacky rig. So we're on a river and there's a ton of junk in the bottom to get hung up on. So we do mainly Ned rigs, bouncing, cast it upstream, let it bounce along the bottom, or we do crankbaits at this time of year. But yeah, I saw the SMT kit got discontinued along with the Grave Digger. Yep, the
But you can
SMT
still
10
buy parts.
all has gotten discontinued. Yeah, but there are still parts.
You know,
And it's a bummer because it is a fun rig. I get why they're doing it. They've got to, I get it.
yeah. Yeah, you got a
But-
big dog in the house now, so you don't really need it as much. But it's still it's nice to have tiers, I think, in RC. I think people forget about
I
that.
like to cry too sometimes. You just embrace the tears. No,
Just saying. We forget about it, every now and then. Just, you gotta do
tears.
it.
Oh, tears, like multiple
Yeah.
levels. Got it.
Yeah. But no, I think it's nice to do that, right? Because like not everyone wants to commit to a $600 LMT.
Right.
I mean, they're worth every single penny and more, but that's a big price to
First drop at first RC. My
Yeah.
first RC, again, Traxxas Stampede, Gravedigger.
Yeah.
I just wanted it because it was a Gravedigger RC.
Yep.
But now to get a Gravedigger RC, you're looking at 600 bones if you want to jump into a monster truck.
Yeah. Yep.
That's licensed. That's tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
that's
is
what-
tough.
Oh yeah. Scale Metal Supplies. He told me about it. He just picked his up from storage. Has an SMT kit, freshie. Said time to embrace that Midwest life.
Oh, I have a ready to run Gravedigger in the box
Ooh,
that I'm going to turn into a Kingsling purple.
nice. Where's that body? I experimented with something. I don't know if I sent you the pictures, but I had this body that I
Oh,
traded with Kalen a while ago.
I like your logo on there.
Well, do you recognize it? It's from Hot Tamale,
Yeah.
the logo. So I got that wrap, and I put the
You just cut it out.
No, I've got the design for it.
Oh, okay.
I talked to him about. I was going to make a car like that, and I got the vector art. So I was going to do the RC Amigos, and it. So this is now my King Sling body,
Nice.
and it looks pretty good. So this is like a beat up body. I'm gonna make another one for a racing body. It's funny. I put that body on there, and it makes me really, 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 really like the Kingsling body that much more. Like it's such a. I don't know if people realize how rad that body is. Like when they see it in person, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it fits the truck perfectly. It just the way you see the suspension up into the hood just looks
Yeah.
awesome. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking down the road I want to get another one. Especially now that I have the Nar bars, because the Nar bars would protect it longer.
Yep.
I mean, it was already ripped in half, so I'm surprised the Nar bars kept it as long as they did.
Yep.
But yeah, when I took it out to the sand dunes, I think that was like, I was like, I can't run this body anymore because I was just shredding it. So
Well, and sand doesn't help because the Narbars cut through it so much.
and it's so heavy. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. That it would. Yeah. I mean, it's not meant for sand, but
Yeah.
you were tearing it up. So
It was fun.
somebody said that the SMT looked
More realistic.
and
Endos
there's some
RC.
truth to that for sure because of the cage.
Yeah. I
the
think
cage
the
gave it
proportions,
that-
the proportions were a little different than the LMT. The LMT, the original LMT, not the Kingsling and the Bog Hog. The short wheelbase LMT was a little like.
Well, the problem is the body was so big.
right. Well, and the
It looked
wheelbase
like an
was
8
a
scale
brick.
big.
Yeah.
Well, it was the same size as the SMT10.
Right, but I just mean it's like wider. It looks like a little brick. It was like a little block versus the SMT10.
It's not really if you put the 2.6s on the SMT10, it's the same size.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Well,
Yeah.
maybe. I'm sure you'd know more. I mean,
it's almost it's so close
mhm.
because we held it up to multiples, and everyone's like, it's not 10 scale, it's 8 scale. Like it's just a bigger body. Like they scaled the body up so much on those
Yeah.
that it was almost too much. Like it overhangs the front too much.
Yeah.
It's too wide,
Yeah.
which is crazy because it didn't need to be.
Right.
Because there's no real the cage.
Well, like the
fits to
real
the body,
real Son of a Digger is really narrow. It's like
super narrow.
so like if the thing that I like, that's what I like about the Kingsling.
But so is
the hood.
Gravedigger.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the hood of the Kingsling is dovetailed in the front, so
Mhm.
the shocks go up into that peak, and it just looks perfect. The Son of a Digger on the LMT is so wide up front that the shocks get hidden underneath the front headlights instead of like going into. And
I
mean,
feel
it's-
like they got
looks
better
awesome.
renderings for Kingsling and Bog Hog,
Oh yeah,
in my opinion,
yeah,
for it to make. But again, it came down to I think what Feld supplied is
Mm,
my guess,
yeah.
and it was the video game rendering,
Oh, gotcha,
which is more square than the original or the real trucks.
gotcha.
That's the one thing everybody gripes about. This is the video game, like stylings of it, but whatever.
Yeah.
They still look pretty cool. And
Ugh.
then, I don't know if Owen Rogers is still in here. I'm curious if he finished his Gravedigger Primal yet, build.
That thing looks. I haven't seen his.
That
but
thing in person is one of the most beautiful Gravedigger RCs I've ever seen.
the videos that I
So
see of
good.
people with them, it's just that makes me want to get a Primal so bad because it's just looks that awesome. Like,
And speaking of XJ Sport 95s here, he moved away. Alex moved away.
what
Yeah.
left you
Bummed.
hanging, working on your
Bummed.
Primal?
It's all tore up in the garage. And I have the parts now, so I'm going to work on it when I finish this house project. But
Yeah,
I did get the new diff in, and I got a new center axle case. It's really not that much. It's a few bolts to put it back together. I should take apart the diff, green Loctite it, like with the hopes of never opening it again. But just to make sure it doesn't back out again. Because if
Yeah.
it destroys internally, just get a new one. Like,
yeah,
it's better than blowing the axle too, like we just did, where it just chewed everything up. So
yeah.
the problem is so many people have broken those output shafts, the outputs drives cups, that if I did green Loctite, that'd be a nightmare.
Oh yeah. Sad face.
Yeah, he's not too far away.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing some traveling too. And I really think it's probably less than an hour rebuild to put it all back together at this point. So I need to get some real like good tools. I watched like Kevin Talbot work on his, and it's just like, like he's got like power tools to do it. And I'm just like Alex with a wrench.
Yeah.
Twist. So
Need a real
no,
impact
just
driver.
have to do the brake lines. Yeah. And that's not too bad to do. Not too bad.
Endos RC said you should do the pink sling or the mismatch. I like the silver one that they have. That's like it's like the bog hog, but it's silver. I forgot, it's old 45 or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
That one's nice.
All right, we got about 20 minutes left. What else do you have on your? We haven't talked about boating.
Oh yeah. Come on.
So that was like my first thing back. And so I instead of rebooting in the whole thing, like kind of recharging, rebooting. Yeah, Alex is the dude that painted the Fast Mayhem truck. Gave me an extra speed boost. Cool dude, super cool dude. Done so much of the work at Reaction as well, like making it super cool. But yeah, coming back for me was rebooting. There's so much. That's the other thing I said in the podcast. I should probably release it. Like, there's so much content in general, whether it's RC, whatever. Everybody's a content creator now, which is amazing. I love it, right? Makes it super hard to wade through the stuff, super hard to stand out. Everybody's doing bashing videos and unboxings and like reviews and, you know, what they think of things. And so I was kind of just like, what can I do that's different? And the King of RC is the one thing that happened because of that mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
That just was an accident, right? And yeah, it's different. Some people hate it, but I have so much fun with it. Like, it won't be the only thing I do. I'll still do the rest, but
Yeah.
it's definitely something I'm going to lean into.
It's hard because I really do think that the whole thing, I got to a point, and we talked about this, I think, last week, where I kind of got to a point where I'm like, I'm tired of seeing the same stuff over and over and over again.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, how do you differentiate? Do you need to? To me, it's just going out there and having fun. Like I've always said, you know, that's my goal, to go out there, have fun. If I can get a kit every quarter or whatever from, you know, however, trading or manufacturers or whatever, great. And everything else is a byproduct for me.
Right.
I go at it a different way than you do because you've been in it longer, so you have different levels unlocked. But for me, it's hard because I see all these people, when you really look down at it, like, who are real content creators, right? And, you know, there's content creators and then there's influencers. And it's like, there's not much of, I feel like the market kind of fell off. And so people are doing it on their own now, which is good because, you know, back in 21 and 2020, people were like, so many people were getting stuff sent out to them, and it was just like paid advertising kind of thing over and over and over again, which was okay. It was good. But now it's like, that's that idea, like I said, I sent to you a while ago about having like an entertainment kind of conglomerate.
Right.
I think stuff like that is where things are heading.
Yeah.
You know, and where
Which is tough because that's what YouTube is,
tough.
right? Like it is the conglomerate of it all.
Right.
Um,
But like if you have a channel that you could go see all the stuff on.
so like I
Different
go to My
channels.
Outdoor TV, right? So
Uh-huh.
that's what I've been watching when I've been doing RC watching. The past week is Major League Fishing.
Yeah.
And they have hunting and they have all these different segments that all fall under their channel.
Right.
The closest I could think to that would be like the live stream racing stuff that's going on,
Yeah.
like where they kind of do that. Like, but yeah, I don't see anything currently like that. But then, yeah, you have to figure out how to share and how to be like percentages, and because you could have something that just has a bunch, but then those are also pay to play, right? And
Right.
how many people want to pay to play? So I pay to
Well,
watch the Major League Fishing
right.
series, but it's like television quality.
Yeah. And that's hard to get everyone on the same level too. You know what I mean? Because like I think if you had like a speed channel and you had within the speed channel, you had 5 different genres of what we're doing in that speed channel. I think that would be cool.
Yeah. Speaking of speed channel, why won't it click to the next one?
I don't know.
I was trying to give you the answer for like the past 10 minutes. My click isn't working. Speaking of speed, the record's been broken twice
For
in the past 2 weeks for speed, like 216 miles an hour or something,
that's bananas.
or 219, depending. Crazy, right?
That's super fast. What are they breaking it with? Just custom? is it
Armas with
really?
M2C and a whole bunch of like, yeah, the bodies on them are super slick.
Yeah, that's
Um,
crazy. Okay, so before we get too far out, I want to plant a seed and see what people say, and we'll just move
you should
on.
plant some grass seed. I'll fly you out here,
Let's do
and you can
this.
plant a bunch of grass seed.
Let's do that. So, okay, so I have the Sombrero Speedway, the Crawldera, and the Taco Trail. But I need to have a new name for this section. There's a
Which
theme
section?
there. The new crawling section that I'm putting out there. The Crawldera technically is that corner piece that goes all the way up because
Yeah.
it used to glow red, but then it's all off of that now. And so now I got to have a new name for it, but it has to be within the theme. So I'll drop
It's gotta
that
be
there.
Mexican.
Yep, I'll drop that there. And the next thing is I've got a plan for this hiking trip. I sent you pictures of the place that I'm going to hike to. And so I'm having a big meeting on Thursday. And I thought that's why I decided not to hike tomorrow, because I was like, okay, I'm going to have this meeting that could be potentially like a big shift in what I do. So maybe if I go up on the mountain on Friday, I can go up really early and then just sit up there. You know what I mean? And just sit up there and think, you know what I mean? And like, look
When
at
you're
how
sitting up there and thinking, are you thinking on top of spaghetti covered with cheese? No,
definitely not. But
on top of Old Smoky.
yes,
Yes.
maybe.
Okay.
Fajita
Falls.
I
Ooh.
like it. Yeah. So I think that's what I'm going to do, but I got to prepare for it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to push and I'm going to hike get to the summit and not crawl on the way up there, but put the truck on my backpack. And then that way I can tag the spots that I want to crawl.
For
and then
future.
And then I can come down.
And draw the best ones.
Yeah, and crawl the best ones rather than burn my time crawling all the way up there. And so I think what I'm gonna bring up there is I'm gonna bring the bug, the Bushido.
I really like that.
So I'm gonna bring that one up.
I need a bug. Oh, you know what?
You've got a bug.
I've got that little bug I have to do.
The nice soft dirt is the perfect place to run that.
No, I mean I have the hard part crawlers bug to build too.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm
and
jealous
I
about
have the
that one.
sweet Tamiya bug.
Yeah.
So that Tamiya bug was the next project I was going to work on.
The one you got from Scale
Yep.
Rat?
Yep. That's
were you
going to be
gonna
my
work-
summer.
What are you gonna work on it?
I have to finish it.
It looks
It's
great.
not. No, I have to put in like an ESC and
Oh. Nice.
I don't remember how to put in. There's something. Maybe it's a receiver. If it's just a receiver and it's been sitting there,
I'm gonna punch you in the baby maker.
I hate. So here's the thing. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I hate to steal a receiver out of a car
And I hate buying them.
to run it
Yeah.
because when I want to run the other one, I won't because I'm like, oh, I don't have a receiver and I got to steal it from something else and put it
Mhm.
back in. So once it's taken out of that car is on the DOA list for a while until
Yeah.
I finally say, you know what, new receiver for that, or this one's decommissioned, receiver out, put it back in there.
Yeah.
Like I don't just hot swap them all the time because then you got to figure out the bind and all the rate. Like where am I going
What
to
number
delete
it
now
was, yeah.
something? Am I going to delete something from one of my radios to put this back in?
Yeah.
Did I save it? What radio is it on?
Yeah.
I'm like, I just buy new receivers for them. Like
Yeah.
the
The thing I
whatever
hate
the
about
two
that-
channel is like $30 or something for a Spectrum. That's why I just put in that. All I need is 2-channel.
Yeah.
Throttle.
Yeah, because you don't like lights.
I don't like lights, and you can run them anyway off that battery. So a 2-channel is actually 3 almost on the.
Yeah.
You have a power one in that little battery.
Yeah.
Plug on a 2-channel Spectrum. So Jalapeno Hill, that's
I
pretty
like
good
that.
too.
Yeah. I found my
Um,
radio, KLN.
Anyway,
So-
so do you buy new receivers for all your stuff, or do you play the swap game? I know certain people swap servos and all that, and it's just like the second I do that, it's done. Like,
yeah. No, I buy them and I hate doing it because I hate when I buy them because I end up buying 5 at a time and or whatever, like $100 worth of them. And you're like, I spent $100 on receivers, you know what I mean? Or whatever it is. And it's like the most unexciting part. And then I feel like I'm further going down the hole of being antiquated because I'm still using my Fly Sky where I really want the rugged. I because of the hiking and stuff that I do, I really want the rugged, and I just haven't bought it yet because those are a little bit more expensive for the receivers than my Fly Sky ones.
they're like
But-
$30 for a 2-channel,
Yeah,
but
see,
they get way more expensive when you start doing 5. It's like $65 for a 5.
yeah, see, I could do a 5-channel for $35 or so, or $30, and a 2-channel, or they only come in 3 channels, and they are, I think, 2 for 30 or whatever it is. So they're not that bad, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like the Dean's plugs on my batteries. They're all Dean's plugs, and now I'm starting to get into higher amperage stuff, and I'm realizing I got to swap everything out. So I just looked at buying a whole bag of XT60s, which I know people are going to say, well, if you're doing 4.6S, go to XT90, but I want all my batteries to be universal so I can use them in my scale crawlers and stuff too. So that XT60 is a lot smaller than I could hide versus XT90 or
Right.
EC5 or whatever, those are huge.
Rugged DX5 all the way.
Yeah.
Yes, with a caveat. They only hold 20 cars.
Yeah. See, I'm only going to cap mine at that. Like I'm not going further than that. I'm cycling my, so.
But the reason that is good though is because you do put stuff on other, like you separate them. But the problem is all of my monster trucks are on my green one.
Yeah.
because that's what I take when I go racing. So all of my monster trucks, my race ones. So if somebody wants to come over in monster truck, they're not spread across multiple radios.
Right.
So I have to sit and find other radios to drop them into and blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
But so that is the problem. And that's the problem with also doing these, instead of having radios dedicated to each one. That's why, like my stock ones, if I buy ready to run, the radio stays on. Like I
I'm
leave
starting
it
to do
on
that
the
too.
radio that it comes with.
Yeah.
Because I can hand it to somebody and be like, hey, let's go.
Exactly what I'm starting to do. Yeah. Same with like that Kingsling is awesome because you could dial it down too. And like really easily.
All of these people over here in the chat, many of them also have more than 20.
My son counted them while we were working on the yard, and I was like, "Shh." I was like, "Don't tell mom." Like,
right.
Stop it. But so like next season, I'm probably going to end up selling at the end of the season, I'm probably going to end up selling 3 cars. The Bug will probably be one.
To me.
Yeah. You don't want the Bug. It's just the Bug will probably be one. I have another crawler that I'm going to be making. That's just like that's the other thing. I started getting into like, I realized I have a merge chassis and I have an extra set of axles. I was like, I should just make another LCG crawler and start comping or something again. But anyways, probably another 1 or 2 crawlers. I don't know which ones yet. I'm kind of thinking maybe Frankenwagon. We'll see. I don't think I'm going to sell the Lazarus. That one's going to stay forever. But
you should never sell it.
Yeah. Ooh, look at that.
21.
Number 21?
Oh, I have 21 RC cars now.
Oh.
Kaylin was asking who has 20 RC cars.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Those would be rad in my
This
backyard.
has actually been sitting in the box since they came out.
Ha! Chainsaw. Used to have 5 crawlers. Quit drinking. Now I have 31. Pretty much how it goes.
Yep. So I was watching. So like I said, I've been still working on the USTE video, and RC Addict talked about his name. He's like, I got into it. He talks about how he got into it. First year, got a crawler. He'd been in it for so long, like the hobby, then got back in, found out about crawlers, bought one, then had 8. Then he started his own company. Now he has however many. He's like, it'd probably been cheaper to be addicted to drugs than to RCs. like I'm addicted to RCs, but it'd been cheaper to be addicted to drugs.
I could be leasing a Ferrari right now.
Right. So, but that would also be really fun in this dirt. That old Losi there.
Mm-hmm.
The JR XT.
Yeah, buddy.
So yeah.
Definitely.
But I don't know if I'm going to run that one. I might be a shelf queen, a box queen.
I don't understand that. KLN was saying that about that truck too, and because he was going to buy one.
They're limited.
Who cares?
Well, I have the other ones, so why don't I just run the other ones?
Why buy the limited then?
To put on the shelf in a box.
For what?
To say I have it when it's not able to be had. So I got that the not ugly Betty, the Betty, right? And then we modded it, and now I just want one that's base stock whatever.
Yeah.
And you can't buy it because I went and ran the one and I changed it all out, and I'm like, well, crap. This thing's gonna be worth $1 million, Pablo. $1 million one day.
Yeah.
When nobody has one and they re-release it for the 3rd time, nobody will have one. I'm still gonna have this and be worth $1 million.
Nope.
Yes. Along with the Princess Diana Beanie Baby that my mom bought for me. That's still in the hard plastic case somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
No, just kidding. I let my kids cut the tag off it and play with it.
Nice.
When they were little.
I see. There's nothing that I have that I'm like, yep, that's too nice. I can't touch it. Nope. Why? Like,
Why?
yeah, I mean, my Clodbuster is the closest thing,
Yeah.
and that's because I waited 30 years to get that truck. So,
And there's parts everywhere. So run that bad boy.
and I do.
Yeah.
So, but I don't do it often, but I do. I raced it at the last monster truck race, stock.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's nothing that I'm like scared of running at all.
Well,
The
that
only
car is so old now that the king of RC is probably going to have to unbox it because it's already been unboxed before by people's.
There
And
you
so
go.
this reminds me of my childhood when my parents wouldn't buy me an RC car, and this was out there and it looked super fast and I couldn't buy it. So we bought it and we're going to see how it does. Piece of junk.
Piece of junk. See, the only car right now that I have that I'm a little bit apprehensive of driving are my DB8 Nomads, because you cannot find certain parts for it anymore.
Right.
And that's the only car that I'm like, but we still go full sends on them. And I'm just, I cringe every time I see my son's.
You're going to have to start making parts.
Yeah. But no, I
Keep
mean, there's
telling
no
yourself
market
that
for that.
eclectic.
There's no.
I'm not addicted. I can quit anytime I want. Oh, I can't quit.
They're made to race. Exactly.
Well, I have race ones already ready to go. So I've got the
Yeah.
buggy and I've got the truggy.
See, El Rey is saying he doesn't drive his Gold Pan RC10. I would probably still drive mine. I get it with that kind of stuff. But like, for instance, my scalar stuff, I don't even care if it rolls over. Like, and that's bad, but I'm like, hey, if it rolls over and it gets a big scratch in it, that kind of shows that it's been used, like, I don't know. RC Jeep guy says that's how he feels about his XO. Yeah, I still see people running XOs out on our U4 every now and then.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of like you don't.
It's like if you have a
parts.
Yeti too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the one bummer is when things fade out. Like the SMT10 we're talking about now. Eventually, it'll be a while, but it'll be hard to find parts for eventually.
It'll come back. It'll come back for a little bit and then it'll go away again. But yeah.
I mean, the molds are out there for people to make stuff if somebody wants to buy into it and support it. But yeah, it's tough. Well, we should wrap here soon. It's been fun again, as always.
Oh, there's your alarm.
I even set an alarm for us this time because
wow,
I kept you too long last time. But there's more coming. I haven't given up on the hobby yet. I'm super excited about where the USTE video is going. The USTE video has kept me from editing my big monster truck smash video.
Oh yeah,
which I have, but I'm
over it.
Well, I was giving it a break,
Yeah.
like before it went out, because I don't want it to feel like like there's a vengeance in it or like revenge kind of a thing. Because at that point there wasn't, if you remember, it was just kind of like, oh my gosh, they're going to let me drive a monster truck. So yeah, we're going to do this. But there is some destruction involved that will take some people off, as I found with that other video, which also is part of the whole needing a break. Like that video of that little toy car got so much heat for it. Like, and so part of that was like, wow, like as a teaser for what's coming, there's going to be some heat coming. Like when we crush some really nice cars.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But it was really fun games that we were playing. So,
yeah,
it kind of was worth it. But yeah. But yeah, it'll be interesting. So it's part of the reboot. It'll be one of the next 5 videos that I do probably. I'm
Nice.
still doing the quick and easies. Like that video with the boat was a 3-hour project, like unboxed, edited, and
Yeah.
very easy and quick. So go, man, go. He said it was good times. We had a blast that day. He was there.
That's awesome.
And he bested me. So I bested him once though. But yeah, so like that was part of it. Like there was just so much around that too, where it's like, man, this ain't fun. Like I'm tired of the comments coming in. I'm tired of the whatever. Like I hated anytime my phone would ding. Like it was just like, ugh.
I'm wondering, I did it last year. I took a break last year for a month and a half.
Oof.
It was a long time, but I'm not monetized on any of the platforms. So it really wasn't that big of a deal for me. But I'm thinking about doing, because what I did in that month and a half is I built like 5 trucks, and then there are trucks that were like slowly getting built over time. And then I just like sat down, and every morning I went in early, did some work on a truck, And I have a video of one. I did a reel a while ago that showed there was like 2 sand rails, a U4 truck, my Baja Ray, all caged out. And it was so nice to be able to get to that point where I didn't have to think about building anything anymore. And I was just out playing all summer. And so I think I might do that. Maybe not so long, but like just, little pepper in little things here and there, but not go.
Yeah.
It's hard because I feel like I'm getting a little bit of traction on YouTube, but then I also feel like I'm not getting much traction on YouTube. So I'm like,
it's a grind. It's
a
total grind, man.
And it's like you have to keep on feeding the slot machine, right? So
it is and it isn't. Like sometimes people like they find the niche. Cape Crawlers found it, and
right.
His stuff's solid straight away, and it's what people are looking for, and it's blowing up. So, and that's same with his Instagram.
Yep.
Which is cool. Like he seems like a really cool dude, and his builds are cool. When you see how many he's done in the amount of time, it's very impressive.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's it's different for everybody, and it all depends on what you're trying to do with it. Like if you're just trying to grow it, there's things you can do to just grow things, right?
Yeah.
But if you're also just trying to have fun or trying to support the hobby in a way or do certain things like you're doing otherwise, then it can be a slower grind than just following the formulas of top 5s. And like I see like there's some do RC or do.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Where you just like take screenshots of things and talks about it, like, or whatever. Yeah. Well, there's no investment needed or whatever, but you title it right. And it's like all the new stuff, and you're just doing screen grabs of it. And
I think the YouTube has changed a little bit too, where 5 years ago, everyone wanted to learn how to do something. And I don't think those videos do as well. So I don't think in the RC world, because it's kind of oversaturated. So like my builds videos, they don't really,
but people still want them. So for the people that want them, there's a big market for it for the real hobbyists.
I don't think
you're just looking for a splash,
good following. I don't think there's
right. Well, they want it. There's people that always say they miss like the RC Sparks builds and the whatever. But if you just did top 5 RCs of 2023 every week, like you could easy, like, or a cheap SCX 24 build, like on the budget build, that kind of stuff just will thrive.
Yeah.
If that's what you're trying to do, is just build a channel. So
I don't know. That's always been the why question for me. I've always had that why question. You know what I mean? I like doing it. I like making the videos. The hard thing is like if I took a break and I just start getting content like in the hopper, you know how that is. If you don't edit it right away,
it doesn't get done.
I have so much that I just haven't done, and I could sit down tonight and probably crank out 2 videos that are like 90% done, and I just haven't had a chance to, or I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like today, I'd rather put the new motor in the MT-12 and change out the foams in my Frankenwagon and put the motor in that so I can drive it. But do I have
RC
time
King would never say that, Tony Clifton.
to-
Only way he loses if somebody cheats.
That's funny.
Never gonna let it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, man, it's been fun. We're almost 10 minutes over. We're
Yep.
trying to keep them to an hour and a half. So
Yep.
we're 10 minutes over. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes.
And lots more stuff coming. Summer's just really hitting here. We've lost that snow. The bash is coming, man.
Yeah.
I got to get the 8S Bari build out and beat that thing to death now that I have it back.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna
much
have a
stuff
lot
to
of
bash.
events. I'm gonna have a lot of local events that I'm gonna be at. Crawling, monster trucks, racing,
Yep.
sand drags. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on out here. So I'm like,
I need to sand drag. Like I'm itching.
yeah.
I had my eye on those two you had until
We'll get you hooked up with the DR10 one.
until somebody made me not want them anymore.
Yeah. We'll get you hooked
But
up
yeah.
on the DR10.
DRZ RC, we'll see you at Badlands. We'll be there. Supposed to be doing a 24th scale comp there as well. So need to
Nice.
talk to them about the deets on it, but it was in the plans. They said yes to it, and I just need to reach out again. So hopefully we'll figure out how we want to do it. I'm gonna guess time based because of potential large crowds. Will probably fastest person through just to make people go fast, or have a really like 2-minute time limit on it. If you if you don't make it through in 2, whatever we set up, then that's my
Sure.
guess is because it's going to be 2's a little fast, but
You could
we'll
do
have
a
to do something to
qualifier,
speed it up.
do a 5-minute qualifier, and whoever doesn't make it in 5 minutes, they're out. And then the next run is.
No, I
however
think
long-
we just do 5 minutes in general, and if you don't make it, whatever gates you don't get is counts
Points.
as like hitting a gate. Yeah,
Yeah.
same points as hitting a gate. So
Mhm.
no DNFs, just higher points that way. So it encourages you to move along. So I think that's what we'll have to do. But yeah,
Right on.
it's we got to work it out. It's different than we normally do, but we did the same thing at Gauntlet and it worked well. It wasn't 5 minutes, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. I don't know what
Peace
Pablo
out.